Welcome back. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been hearing and sharing stories about how there may be challenges this summer filling up our gas tanks. Not because there's a gas shortage, but because there aren't enough truck drivers to transport the gas to your local gas station. How problematic is this truck driver shortage, and could it impact the delivery of other goods we use in our day-to-day lives? Joseph Sculley is joining us this morning. He is the president of the Motor Transport Association of Connecticut. So, Mr. Sculley, thanks for being with us. Tell us, what does this mean? What is this driver shortage all about?
Eric, good morning. Thanks for having me. When I first saw headlines about gas shortage coming, I actually thought it was referring to TCI, this Transportation Climate Initiative, because I do think that will cause a gas shortage, but I'll get back to that if we have time later. Our industry does have a driver shortage. My affiliates in DC estimate that there's a 61,000 driver shortage right now, meaning that if there were 61,000 people who wanted to get jobs as truck drivers, they could. At the same time, as far as the concern that there's not enough right now to drive tank trucks to deliver gas to gas stations, is it going to cause a shortage? They say they don't think so in the immediate future. I talked to a couple of my fuel suppliers here in Connecticut. One of them's a little bit concerned. He said he's lost some drivers. He has a hard time finding new drivers. And because of those things, he hasn't been able to deliver as much fuel as he otherwise would. A separate fuel distributor said he doesn't foresee any problem, and he hasn't lost drivers, and he's actually bumping up pay a little bit to make sure that he keeps his drivers. So in the immediate future, I don't think anybody needs to freak out. But longer term, it's definitely something that we need to address to make sure there is not a problem with the supply chain.
All right, don't freak out. That's good advice. So that's the first thing we've learned from your interview. But tell me about this 61,000 driver shortage. If there's people watching this morning who say, hey, I'm in, I'll do it, I'll sign up. It's not quite as easy as that. It's not like we could solve this problem by tomorrow, right? There's a lot of steps that have to happen before those drivers get into the cab of a truck.
Sure. I mean, look, being a truck driver is a tough job. I have all kinds of respect for truck drivers. They have to go through a CDL training school and pass a written test, a road test, a physical, drug test, by the way. Even if Connecticut or any other state legalizes marijuana, as a truck driver, per federal regulation, you are not allowed to use it or any other drug. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. But look, it's not gonna, as you said, even if people today said, I'll do it, I'll take a job as a truck driver, it's gonna take time to go through the training and get credentialed and learn on the job training even. So, look, there's plenty of opportunity and it's gonna take time, but the industry would love to have anyone who's ready to work hard.
Well, and you mentioned it. One of the suppliers that you talked to, one of the operators, said they're offering a little bit more money. Is that something we're seeing across your industry, that to get those people to take these jobs, maybe it is paying a little better, maybe there's some bonuses? What are you seeing in the industry?
Yeah, I think it is. I think in the industry anyway, it's pretty well reported right now that driver pay is increasing. The drivers have a lot of power, a lot of leverage right now because of the shortage of drivers. There are job openings, and a driver, we call it driver turnover. They can leave a job with one trucking company and go to another that may pay more. To head that off, some companies are saying, we're just going to increase pay right now. Don't be tempted to go anywhere. We value what you do. We want to keep you here, and we'll pay you more. And I think that's a great thing to see, to be honest with you.
All right, so we've thoroughly tried to convince everyone to pursue a career as a truck driver, but let's talk about the effects for the rest of our audience. We talked about gas, and you said in the short term, don't freak out. In the long term, should we worry about gas and maybe other commodities as well? A lot of stuff moves in those trucks up and down Connecticut's highways and roads. Is there concern that if this continues, other products could be affected?
For sure. I mean, look, if there were no truck drivers, no trucks would move. Self-driving trucks are decades away. I don't know that I'll see it in my lifetime. So we need people to do the job. The average age is getting up there. It's mid 40s, low 50s. So the workforce is aging, right? Drivers are getting near retirement age, and we just don't have as many younger drivers coming in to fill those spots. So that's something that we as an industry, and I think we need help from the government. This is something I never thought I would say. To change laws, to change policies, to be able to attract more drivers and keep our supply chain going.
You mentioned at the very beginning of this segment the Transportation and Climate Initiative. You talk about the government changing policies. That initiative, TCI, you called it, it's 13 New England and Mid-Atlantic states. They're coming together looking at ways for clean energy and to reduce emissions. In those two sentences, it sounds all right, but you say not so fast. Why are you concerned?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, initially it was 13 states. Now it's down to 3 states plus DC. States are bailing out of this. Again, I think TCI is going to cause a shortage of gas because it limits the amount of emissions that can happen, and that limits the amount of gas that you can sell. And the cap on emissions goes down every year over 10 years. And so the limit is already below where demand for gasoline and diesel is. So, by year 3 of TCI, we could be looking at a 41 million gallon shortage of gas and diesel, and by year 10, 360 million, and that's based on a study done by the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association. So, I talked about trucks not moving, right? Imagine a grocery distributor or a truck that delivers to a pharmacy not being able to move because they can't get diesel to fill up their truck. That's a real risk with TCI here. And it's just, it's not the way that we're going to get clean air or infrastructure.
All right. Well, that's probably a whole other segment for a whole other show, but we appreciate you being with us. Joseph Sculley, the president of the Motor Transport Association of Connecticut. The good news is your suppliers say no gas shortage for now, but we'll, of course, keep an eye on that and the TCI issue as well. Thanks for being with us this Sunday morning. Coming up next in our Sunday Spotlight, the heroes who take care of children when the child's biological parents cannot. We're talking to a local foster mom about her critical role in the lives of children in need. That's coming up.